What's up, guys? Max Uhas here, and welcome to lifeafterartschool.net. We're going to be going over the 5 biggest obstacles that kill most artists. Okay, I recently threw a survey out there, and I've had a really good response to it, and because I wanted to know, right? I was building out this course. I was building out this training program, and I wanted to know, like, what were the biggest things that you felt were holding you back, right? Maybe you're here because you were one of those people. Maybe you filled this questionnaire out. I don't know. But what I found were, like, basically, here were the 5 biggest obstacles that most artists felt were their biggest obstacle, if that makes any sense, right? But okay, so number one was time. Basically a lack of time to create. Now this basically, if you think about it, right, like your time, if you don't have enough time to create, it's probably because you're busy doing something else, something that you don't want to do, something that you probably like a job, I know when I was going through art school, when I was, basically building up my career, like you kind of need, you need to have some income coming in. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have rent, maybe you have this, maybe you have all of the above. But you definitely need to eat and get supplies and stuff. So so a lot of times you're kind of forced to get a job, and unfortunately that sucks. So how do you leverage? How do you gain more time? Well, realistically, it's like, if you kind of figure it out, it's like, okay, cool. So I'm working. There are different levels of income, right? And there's the thing called linear income. And linear income is basically when you're trading your time for a dollar amount, which is considered a wage. You know what I mean? Like an hourly wage or a salary. And it's like, if your time was worth, let's just say you're trading, if you work full time, right? You're trading 40 hours a week of your life. Let's just, for math purposes, let's just say, $10 an hour. Okay, so you're making $400 for 40 hours of work, right? And you're not taking all that home, obviously, because there's taxes taken out, there's all this other stuff taken out. And let's just say, realistically, you're coming home with $325 paycheck. Now, how do you leverage that? For you to make $325 a week, right? As an artist, that would mean you selling. Okay, let's get some math here. You selling 10 $40 prints. 10 $40 pieces of art. Okay? Maybe doing, and that's real cheap work if you ask me. But at the same time, that would be you selling one $400 piece of work. And that's how you do it. Okay, that's how you gain more time. You gotta sell stuff. Okay. The second one here, and I'm just gonna resources, which kind of goes back to the whole time thing, right? If you're doing linear work, and you're just going nuts, basically, because here's the thing, right? When you have a job, it's not just like you're working 40 hours a week. You're a lot of times on an 8-hour work day, you're really spending between 10 to 11 to 12 hours at that, just going back and forth, the travel involved, the lunch breaks, the mandatory breaks, depending on where you work or whatever. Like, you're not really working 8 hours. You're really more or less dedicating half of your day to a paycheck, right? And by the time you get home, depending on what kind of social life you have, depending on what kind of family life you have, you may be completely drained of energy. You may not have the time to create anything else. And at the same time, it's like, how do you get into the groove of creating? Okay, well, let's do that math again. Sell some of your work. Okay. That's kind of how this all boils down. And this is really where I've dedicated a whole bunch of my energy and my time into this training here. Now, it all really depends on what your monthly breakdown is, how much money you need to make for yourself. But if you figure that out, you can make your monthly overhead just selling your artwork, if you figure out the whole, what it's going to take for you to do it. Okay. a big one. Actually, this was number one. The number one thing that was holding back most artists was an overall lack of exposure. Okay, they didn't know how to market. They didn't know how to get people to look at what they had. They didn't know how to gain a following. They didn't really know how to brand themselves. And this kind of falls hand in hand with everything else. But it's like, if you're not, if you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of resources, and you're a creative person, obviously, like, you're going to spend more time creating than you are marketing yourself, because you probably don't have a whole lot of art or quote unquote inventory that you're sitting on to sell. So once again, how do we solve this? Well, to get exposure, obviously you have to market, you have to get yourself out there, you have to put some work out there, you're going to have to share it, you're going to have to display it, you're going to have to showcase it somewhere. If you downloaded the guide that I put together, it's 88 ways to gain more exposure for artists. I basically give you 88 ways to gain exposure. Okay. And this is, some of it's offline, some of it's online, some of it's websites, some of it's social media places, whatever. But it goes really like, you can post a picture to Instagram or Facebook or something, but a lot of times, or put something up on Deviant, or that doesn't mean you're going to sell it. Okay, like, actually putting together the platforms to sell, I think that's honestly just as important, if not more important, than just posting up art in places. Okay, so part of the training that I put together covers that. Okay, another one, I hate selling. Okay, why? I mean, why? I know that there are so many people out there that have this really bad. It almost kind of goes hand in hand, right? It's the mental stereotype of, like, starving artist. You're just like, you're an artist, right? You're supposed to be this broke person that's, like, on the street corner, homeless, with, like, a dog playing guitar, painting a picture with a cop going, "Hey, please help me out." At the same time, it's like, you get this mental image of a salesperson, right? You've got this scummy, schemy suit and tie guy. It's like, "Hey, buddy, what's up? I'm trying to sell you something." And that honestly isn't the case. Like, I've when I first got into sales, I mean, that was kind of like my mentality. I was like, I hate salespeople. I don't want to do sales, whatever. And then I realized, it's just like, the less I try to sell, and this is covered a whole lot in the course that I put together. I teach how to sell by being yourself. Okay, not a bunch of sales tactics, not a bunch of, like, schemy, scummy lines and one-liners and stuff where it's like, "Hey," it's actual, like, because sales is an art form, and it's almost like, you have to value yourself enough to sell, to get paid what you're worth. When it comes to negotiating, when it comes to pricing out your work or whatever, it is a little uncomfortable at first, especially, like, if, let's just say, because realistically, and this is what you got to realize, like, I'm a bit of, like, a social introvert. I'm socially awkward. You know what I mean? If I'm just in a place and I don't know a lot of people, I'm usually, unless I'm drinking, and then I'm, like, really loud and obnoxious. But, like, usually, like, if I'm just in a social place where I don't know anybody, I'm usually the quiet guy that's just kind of, like, observing everybody. But then my sales brain kicks in, and it's just like, okay, cool. Everybody here could be a potential client. Everybody here could refer me to somebody. Everybody here might buy something that I'm selling. So I kind of, and I don't go all, like, sociopathic on it, to where it's like, "Hi, I'm Max, I'm selling you something." It's more just like, I take it, I've gone from being, like weird social introvert to almost like, I'm just like a curious questioner, where I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy meeting people. And the way I look at it, it's like, I enjoy helping people solve their problems, because I know that, and I've been selling art now for 15 years. I mean, I started selling art in 2001, and it's 2015, so 15 years, right? Everybody buys art, everybody decorates, and that's, I started my company, it's like EBD marketing, right? It's like, everybody decorates, everybody hangs something up, everybody puts together, you have rooms that are themed out, and it may not necessarily just be your art, I mean, there's people that do. But everybody decorates. Everybody hangs art. Okay, so it's like, when you're an artist, and this is where understanding your market really kicks in, and allows you to sell more, right? Because it's like, and I go over this, but it's like, you're not going to sell meat to a vegetarian. Okay, and the same time, it's like odds are if you're creating like organic salad, your main target market isn't going to be like, I love barbecue and that's all I eat. But if you sell organic salad, guess what? Who are you probably going to want to sell to? The guy that really loves salad. You know, if depending on what kind of art you create, you have to figure out your niche. You have to figure out your market. You have to figure out who your best buyers are going to be. Okay. And with that being said, that kind of goes hand in hand with exposure, because it's like, who are you showing your work to? Are you showing your steak to vegetarians? Or are you showing your steak to people that really love eating meat? Okay. Are you showing your salad to people that love eating salad? You know, are you showing your work to people that are really going to enjoy your work? And I don't know. I'm not sure if you ever thought about it that way, but hopefully this expanded your brain and your thought process a little bit too. So when it comes to selling your work, it's not that difficult when your audience and the people that you're talking to are people that are interested in buying what you create. Crazy, okay? And then one of the ones, and I know what this is like. The fifth biggest obstacle, or kind of like head block for a lot of artists, is that they just don't think that their work is good enough to sell. Okay, and to that I say bullshit. Seriously, because everybody out there, once again, and all of the answers to all these questions all kind of go back hand in hand to the same exact thing. If you don't show it off, if somebody's gonna, what you think is crap, other people are gonna think is the most beautiful thing in the entire world. What you think is your worst work is gonna sometimes be the best work that anybody's ever seen. I know some of the pieces that I've sold, I didn't think were that impressive, but people loved them. They were like, oh, this is, you know what I mean? Like, sold them day one. Like, I painted them, put them together, mounted them, framed them, and they're gone the next day. And then like the stuff that I spend hours on sometimes, or like days or weeks, are still sitting. But I think they're awesome. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, this is like the best piece of artwork I've ever done, and it never sold. You know, and I mean, part of that maybe just be me, because I'm like, I'm so emotionally attached to this piece. But I know this is, it's like, don't judge yourself. You have to take yourself out of the, my work's not good enough, look at this mistake, I screwed up on this line, the inking's wrong, the paintings, the colors are wrong, whatever. It's like, listen, the market will tell you what's good or what's not good, but I can tell you this, okay? When you get your work out there, when you start showing off your work to people, and you start gaining exposure or whatever, you'll develop what's called a fan base, okay? And that in and of itself is huge, because your fans are going to become your customers. Okay, the people that really love your work are going to become your customers, and your fans are going to be your biggest customers, and will be the biggest social sharers and helping you get your work go viral and getting your name out there or whatever. But if you keep it all to yourself, nobody's ever going to see it. Okay, and then once again we go back to this, I'm a broke fucking starving artist. And I'm sorry for cursing, guys, but this is something that I feel very, very strongly about, because it's bullshit. There's no reason any artist out there should struggle. Okay? It really just takes you getting over what you think people are thinking about you. Because trust me, you know what everybody else is thinking about? Their own personal nonsense. The same thing that you're going through in your head about, do I show this? Do I not show this? Do I share this? Do I not share this? Can I sell this? Will anybody buy this? Are people going to like me? Are they going to like this? Whatever is I don't care. I did this video. Look at me, guys. I'm in my beat up t-shirt sitting in my office. It's a Sunday afternoon. I know that I could have done this video 12,000 times better, right? I could have added all these graphics, this, that. I don't care. It's not about what you think about me. It's about the information that I'm sharing with you here. Okay? If you like this video, great. If you don't like this video, I don't care, okay? Because I know what I'm saying makes sense to a lot of people, okay? And you can throw whatever objections you want out here. It's like, art sells. People buy and sell art all the time, okay? And the only way for you to really, really take advantage of your talents and of your creativity and of your, if you're religious, if your God-given ability, is for you to share it with the world, okay? And understand who you're showing it to, understand who you're sharing it with, understand who's looking at your work, understand all of this, because this is what's most important. In order for you to make money, And trust me, it is important to make money. You can't survive without money. You just can't. Okay? If you plan on eating well, I mean, yeah, you could be a homeless person living off of scraps, or you can actually take care of yourself, eat the right foods, put the right stuff in your body, whatever. And there are those few people that get famous being artists on the street, okay? That's a rare occurrence. I'm talking about professionals. I'm talking about people that build names for themselves, people that become success stories. It's not because they're more talented than you. It's because they work harder and they market better than you. Okay? If you're down on yourself and if you're wondering what the fuck is wrong with me, don't judge your work. Judge your marketing aspect. Judge how you're sharing your work. Judge how you're selling. Because nothing gets done without something being sold. Okay? Every business out there sells a product or a service or a combination of both. And for you to make money as an artist, you have to understand that you are a business. Okay? Treat your business like a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. Don't treat it as something that you love to do. If you really want to just create full time, it becomes a business. Okay? And here's the thing. The most successful businesses out there are ones with a purpose. People fall in love with brands that give them a why, that share their why, that have a purpose. You know, so you don't have to be some skeezy, scummy salesperson going, hey man, buy this, check this out, check out my watches. You don't have to be some begging ass artist on the street going, excuse me sir, would you like to buy my work? Because successful people don't do that. Okay, successful businesses don't do that. Successful businesses don't beg you to buy. They make you want to buy. And why do you want to buy? It's based, and this is weird thing right here, right? When people buy something, it's an emotional decision. It's not a logical decision. It's an emotional decision. People buy because they want to buy. How many times have you bought something where you're just like, oh man, I just want this? There's something about whatever you're buying that makes you feel. That's what art creates. Art creates a feeling. Okay? So, the best way for you to get over all of these things, you know, if one of these points was something that you struggle with, or maybe you struggle with all of them, the best way for you to get over all this is to go to the next page. Okay? I've put together a training program that teaches you how to do everything that I was just talking about. Gain more time freedom, gain more, you know, get money that you need for resources, basically get more exposure, get over your hatred or fear or, you know, your block or whatever of selling, and get confident about your own work and get comfortable selling it. Okay? I would love to work with you and I'd love to teach you more of this. Okay? But this is the only free information that I'm sharing on this page. Hopefully you got something from this, but if you got value out of this and you want more of this, I can show you how to do it. I've built 6-figure art businesses year after year, year after year, year after year, since basically 2001. 14, 15 years selling art. I can show you how to do this. Okay? If you got some value out of this, share this video, do whatever, great. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you got your own way to do it. Maybe you know better than me. I don't know. But if you know that this can help you, go to the next page or click whatever button I put down here. I'm not really sure how I'm setting it up. And I'll see you over there. Okay? Max Juhas, to your success. I love you. Thanks for watching the video. Peace and I'm out.